Hi team, Coach Paul here for Orangetheory Nottingham. Today we are going to go through our basics of stretching. So why do we stretch? How long do we stretch for? And what type of stretches should we be doing? So we're going to go through a couple of little slides and then get into the main business of going through the basics of stretching. So you need a mat, a nice open space, and potentially a pillow for our knees. So team, let me just load up this screenshot for you. Awesome team, static stretching. The reason we do static stretching is really going to help increase our range of motion and improve our flexibility. This is going to help our performance in the studio, whether it's on the treadmills and the rowers or performing on the weight floor, getting better range of motion. It's also going to reduce the chance of injury, so really helping the body stay in a nice, strong structure. The second part of this static stretching is to reduce pain and aid in our recovery. So it's going to reduce that time of DOMS so we can then get back to training quicker and sooner. It's also going to help the body repair itself faster. Another positive of our static stretching is decreasing our stress and blood pressure. The way it does this is how it's turns the body down and slows everything off. It's also going to help increase that blood flow into the muscles to increase that recovery time. And the last one, it's all about our neuromuscular system, helping us switch off and slow down. So when and where and how long should we do these stretches for, team? So we're looking after any form of exercise. So after an Orangetheory class, a long run outside, long walks, any form of training. We can also do this before we go to sleep. Do it before we go to sleep is really going to help improve our sleep by helping turn the body off, turn the mind off, help us relax. So how long? We're looking 30 seconds to 3 minutes. The longer we can hold these stretches, the more benefit we're going to get out of them. The downside to 3 minutes, it's a long time and that does get a bit boring. So make sure you have a TV or a book close by to read while you're holding those stretches for long periods of time. Looking for 3 to 4 exercises, just choosing those key ones to work with. So team, let's have a good old play and go through a couple of stretches that we can do. So I'm just going to stop this from sharing. As always, I'm too tall for these cameras and videos. So team, it's going to go for a couple of basic stretches that can really help us in the motion. Our first one is going to be our cat-cow. We'll find a nice bit of space. We're going to start with our knees under our hips and our hands under our shoulders. Keep the knees nice and wide. We're going to tuck the pelvis on to hide our bum away, pull the shoulder blades apart and pull the chin into our chest, rounding our spine. And as we start to exhale, push the bum out, tuck the shoulder blades together and lift the head to a nice curve through the spine. So repeating this motion on the in-breath and the out-breath. Great for loosening up our lower back and our hips and taking out the tension for our shoulders and our upper back. So 30 seconds towards 3 minutes, just repeating this motion, find as much range as we can, just working with our breathing. So nice and smooth, nice and slow. I tend to use my phone, just leave a timer on the side and time myself through that way. So that's one option we've got. Our next one, we're going to work down to our hips. We're going to do a runner stretch. So we're going to rest one knee on the ground and take our right foot forward. So our left knee is planted, right foot forward. The thing I want to focus on is my hips sinking down into the ground. So creating a stretch in our quads and our hip flexors and driving the knee over the toes to stretch out the ankles. So we've got a few progressions we can do here. We're happy here. We can then rest the hands down into the ground, creating that deeper stretch. Or if you're feeling even more flexible, we can start to take the elbow away and push our way into the floor, potentially going from the double, driving into the ground. If that all feels too much, just hold that higher position. Again, for up to 3 minutes. Just choose your sample times. You might start at 30 seconds and slowly build up each week, and in 10 seconds on to help progress those stretches. So make sure we do both sides nice and equally. So we're stepping that foot forward, getting the knee over the toes, hips nice and low, and then sinking those hands into the ground. Taking those nice slow breaths. And when you're ready, sinking the elbow or both elbows, or just holding for the remainder of time. Beautiful, team. So we're going to work our way onto our backside now. So taking the seats with nice straight legs. So we've worked for our lower back and our hips. We've worked out our quads. Now we'll start to work for our hamstrings themselves through the back of our legs. So we'll take our right foot and slide it on the inside of the left leg. Let the knee roll nice and low, lifting the chest nice and proud. From here, we're going to inhale overhead, straighten the body out as we exhale that forward fold, hinging through the hips, looking for forehead to knee, and elbows into the ground. Looking for upper body, the belly button up towards our head, become weight. As we exhale, we let the body sink forwards and push into the floor. Loosening those arms and sinking towards the ground. Taking your time, again, using that same time that you set yourself on the other two stretches as we hold the motion. Gradually swapping sides. When you're ready, again, reset everything nice and tall before we swap sides. Exhale, fold through the body and sink away into the ground. What we're looking at over that time is for everything to go from a mild discomfort to feeling quite comfortable. So that first initial stretch will have a little bit of pain to it. And as we start to breathe and start to relax the body, we should feel that discomfort come down. So you might mark yourself out of 10. So if you're looking at 1 to 10, with 10 being the most painful, 1 being no pain, maybe starting at 7 at max, you should feel it come down to 5 or 4 by the end of your time. So come out of that stretch, we've worked for our lower back, our quads, and our hamstrings, and we work for our spine. We're going to lay flat on our back, making ourselves nice and comfortable. Left leg straightens, right knee comes into the chest. So right arm opens wide, left hand pulls the knee across the body, so creating a stretch through our thoracic, through our lumbar, into the glutes. Taking those breaths slowly in and slowly out. So it's a fantastic stretch to really release our lower back, release our glutes as we hold. Let the knees slowly sink towards the floor. Remember, we're stretching at any point if it comes discomfort, we can bring the knee back out or out of any stretch and reset to go again. So once we've finished our time, we're going to swap our sides. And what you have to remember is both sides of our body is completely different. So we roll to the other side, potentially we're not going to go as far to start with. So we're going to have to pause, and breathe, and gradually let that body sink to the same depth or the same range that we get on the other side. So when we're working single sides of the body, one side's always a little bit more flexible than the other. One side's a little bit more tighter. So take your time on the stiffer side to sink slowly into that stretch. Remember, we're only looking for minor discomfort. We're not looking for squinched faces and pain. So slow breath in, slow breath out, and gradually sinking through these stretches. So we're going to finish off this little short tutorial of different types of stretches with our glutes. So we're taking our right ankle and resting it on top of our left knee, bringing the hands through the leg, and pulling the knee towards the chest. We want to start to feel the glute on the opposite side of my right glute. Progressing this, I can rest my hand, and that little push-pull is going to pull across the hamstring, push across the knee, feeling that stretch in our right glute as we take breath in and back out. Always working to your timer, holding for as close to that 3-minute marker as we can, taking our time in everything we do, especially when it comes to these changeovers. Have that time to reset your hips, reset your leg, and again, bring in that stretch might not be as comfortable on the second side, so you might hold just the hamstring for a bit before you try to push and pull. We never have to rush through a stretch. So the end point, we're taking our time, gradually building our range of motion, and keeping that controlled breath from start to finish. Amazing, team. So static stretching, just adjust that quick. So static stretching, teams have to increase our range of motion. Our range of motion is going to help improve our performance, so we can work harder in our sessions. Also going to help reduce our chance of injury. It's also a fantastic way of helping us relax before we go to sleep. So if we increase our sleep, the more sleep we get, the more the body's going to recover and build. Team, if you do have any more questions about stretching at all, please do grab one of your coaches and give them a shout. Thank you for joining me, team. I look forward to seeing you in club soon.